great. You've seen the title, Know Thyself, a couple times already. We can skip ahead. I'm going to talk about it as a key to overlooked aspect of business, because a lot of time in a lot of business classes that I've taken out there are putting out who is your person as outside of you. What are their pains? How do you talk to them? And this idea came up when I was watching I was part of another group in February, and they kept talking to the person about who are your people? And she was just stuck. And it dawned on me, kind of to bring it back, and we'll talk through the quantum physics reasons of why, and bring it back to how to know yourself a little bit better. Go ahead and relate to your folks. So overview is, one of my geniuses is bringing that quantum physics idea that's kind of nebulous and down into reality. So we're going to talk about the energy of business. We'll talk about getting in touch with yourself, and I'll give you some tools today that you can do that. And then looking at your true values, and we'll cover that and why that's important. How and why you can use them in marketing, and then talking about being in alignment with your business, and as you bring your conversation, I love that, forth to the world. Next. So the energy of business. One of the cool things that's going on in the world is we're at a really changing time. And I think a lot of us have talked about we're moving from our old way of doing things to we're feeling a call to do something new. And that same thing is happening with the old paradigms of business with the new paradigms of business. And if you listen to Dr. Bruce Lipton, he has a really great analogy when he talks about science. The pillar and the model of science was talking about our physical reality, and that's what is called physics. But now we're realizing that everything is energy. And so now that base and the pillar of how we look at science is changing to quantum physics, which is talking about frequency and light. And basically, our own system is a magnetic frequency. So we're moving to this world of everything is energy. So how can we master that into our business and what we want to bring forth in the world? This is really cool because I thought this was going in a different direction about 2 or 3 months ago, and then I went on my computer looking for some notes that I had taken for myself, and I came across this from Karen Parker, I think. Anyway, 2 years ago, she was talking about these same principles that are coming together today. So I just love how what she was describing is your authenticity and alignment and energy determines the success of your business. And so many things right now are looking on the outside of that, but what is really going to propel yourself forward, and when we're talking about synergistic creation, it's coming from inside. And there's only one person that can tell you what that's about, and that's you. And so the key is rooted in service, not about sacrifice or martyrdom. And I think I really liked how she put that, because a lot of times we've been told just work harder, push away, keep doing this model and everything will work out. Except we're finding that changes. And I think for a lot of us in our quest for a new life, or where we hit our burnout programs, when we're not working within our energy system and true to ourselves, we are in that sacrifice or martyrdom, which is completely draining our energy. And so how you value yourself and your business is that new way forward in life. Go ahead. So here's the science. HeartMath Institute is finding out that we are actually an electromagnetic field. Our energy field is 22 to 24 feet out. So we are interacting with each other energetically all the time. But no one has ever taught us to clear our field, or what is ours and what is not ours. We've just kind of muddled through life carrying these different things. What I've learned and what I know about myself is that the truth of who you are and the messages that you get are quiet, softer voices. And so that intuition, that knowing about yourself is always there. It's just quiet. And what we've learned in this society in the Western world is that the brain runs everything. So we've given the brain a whole bunch of huge job that it was never meant to do, and it runs all these 60,000 thoughts a day that may or may not be beneficial. What they're finding is your thoughts create the coherence within your energy field. So if they're leaning towards the negative side, that's the energy that you're bringing forth. So today we're going to go through a couple of simple steps that we can change that coherence and use it in our marketing. So what I'd like you to do, I learned this way early on from Christy Marie Sheldon, is just take a deep breath, notice your bodies, and say yes out loud. Yes, 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 yes. And it might be better to close your eyes since we're all in a big group. Notice how you feel in your body. And now say no, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Notice how your body feels. And we'll just do yeses again. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Did anyone not notice a difference? Awesome. Life can be as simple as that. I don't know about you, but sometimes my brain takes over and says, no, we must have an obstacle course, and I will get to that same yes or no answer in about 3 days, but we have to go the difficult way. Well, the thing is, we have an amazing system that's telling us immediately whether or not something's a yes, something's a no. It depends on what programs, what things we're thinking, whether or not we follow that. So keeping that in mind, sometimes people have a hard time with a yes, no. Most of the time for me, yes is like an open upper thing, and no is a contracting kind of tightening of my body. Another way to do it is, I think a lot of you probably have heard of muscle testing, but I like this better. Taking your finger and your thumb and the pads of your finger, just start to make a circle. And then in your mind, show me yes, show me no. Show me yes, show me no. To me, this is using your electrical field to that yes and no. So now I get almost everybody out of the way, including my little mind that likes to play different games. For me, it is nice and smooth when I say yes, and stops when I say no, or gets more difficult. Some people go backwards, so I just set it every time before I ask yes/no questions. And then the last thing is how to clear our energetic field. And so I'm going to be caught on tape doing something weird and woo-woo. And so I'm coming out now. So I learned this at an event where doubt creeped in. So I was at a holistic event and nobody was walking by. And so I'm starting to make oh my goodness, what did I do wrong? No one wants to see me, all that way, which is my weakness. That's my spiral out. And so someone came by and was like, you need to clear your energy field. And so she recommended I go to somebody else who just did it. And so when I went to that person, I couldn't figure out why or what. And she was just selling rocks. There was no like energy thing and so I asked her, and she's like, who told you? Like, well, some lady that walked by. And so she did it, and she told me when she cleared her energy field, her phone she couldn't get for 30 minutes, couldn't get it to work the square, so she wasn't going to be able to work, kind of just like my booth where nobody was coming by, they didn't see me, and whatever. So she showed me this method, which is basically taking your hand at the back of your neck and at your sacrum, and then just holding it there and switching. That's one set. Switching. That's 2 sets. And that's 3 sets. In that moment, I could feel, when I went up to set that booth, I could feel myself kind of back, not fully present, right? Allowing that doubt to come in. As soon as I did that, I had chills down my legs, I felt present, and everybody showed up. I was booked throughout the whole day. So I do that, you'll see me in parking lots. I will do that anytime I do not feel like myself, anytime I have thoughts running through that aren't that kind, quiet voice, that soft yes. It's just clearing my field so I can get clearer to those subtle intuition hits. I asked a friend who does energy work, I showed him that, and he said intuitively he does that for his clients all the time. He was just wondering why he doesn't do it for himself. And there's the great $1 million question. So here's the key to business, to life, is to know your values. They are the core of who you are. They are the signature that is unique to you on how you express and bring things through in the world. They are this. It's really fascinating because all our senses and all our knowing about ourselves is usually reflected back at us. But what I'm hoping to get you to do, and with the exercise, is really start to ask, what are the key values, the true values that you have? When we're talking about everything is energy, it's really hard to put words to energy, which is why you have a list of about 500 values, to really start to find what are the words that are truest to you. And then, as we know with energy and then sound healing and vibration, those words, those vibrations create the frequency in your field that is getting magnified with every heartbeat. The purpose about your values is to keep your business in alignment with the truth of who you are. When you're not living your values, or when I'm not living my values, it really doesn't feel good. And this works in business, in life, and collaborations. And so if you want to go to the next slide, I'll show you. So how do you use your values in marketing? First of all, it's way easier to talk about yourself than other people. So for me, and on the next slide I'll show you, authenticity, fearlessness, and freedom are my 3 foundational values. So when I'm talking to a client, or when I'm running my business, or I'm creating what is my new program, it's based off of those 3 values. And the cool thing is, as I reflect on life, I've always kind of been living them. I just didn't do it consciously. And so I had an opportunity to really test this out in April, when the people I was working with, it was kind of going off about 90 degrees from where I was at. So I just pulled back, and then I went through my list of values on the program I want to create, what I want to do in the world, how does it match up with what this group is doing, with what this group is doing, what do I need to do? And as I really sat down with it, the nudge for me to go on my own was the answer. That was just the one I was ignoring for a year. So it just really created a stronger sense in myself. This is the program I need to create. What you'll find is when you look at your values and what they really mean to you, they're more than just that one word. So that those multiple words get to be your language and how you talk about your business. Cool. And the ways that you'll know when you're in alignment, not only is within yourself, but also the feedback you get. I've worked with a couple people and gotten feedback about, you create a trusting environment. It's safe to be and talk about my true self. I'm feeling bold now, fearless, based on what we covered, which is really great feedback because the message is getting out there, and it will help you realize what you do and give you more strength to go forward. And so this is why I ask or recommend clearing your field before you go through these values. I never would have picked these 3. I would have picked these 3. And the reason is, these are number 4 through 11. That's how I see myself in the world. That's how I experience life. But as I went back and felt felt into and experienced these three are foundational to who I am to create the life that I want. And as I watched other people go through this course and pick their values, it really felt like they were picking a lot of these values. And so when I look at authenticity, trust, integrity, the genuine, bringing the unique self forth, that's how I want to be in the world. And as I was at my turning point in life, this is not who I was being, given my work and what I was doing. Fearlessness, huge part. Not only, well, I didn't pick it because of this, but at my big turning point in life, I got a tattoo that I was never gonna get, of fearlessness as a reminder. Because to me that word means the ability to love and keep your heart open regardless of what's going on around you. And a lot of times that takes courage and boldness. It takes courage to be authentic. It takes boldness to go into that uncharted territory. And I'm speaking to a lot of bold people who are in this no man's land right now of how do I move forward. And then freedom. It's no mistake I was in the military. It's no mistake I'm in the United States. Feeling of freedom is the freedom for you to be unique, the feeling of freedom for me to express and go be adventurous and go out and just experience life. It's the freedom to make mistakes and then just kind of pivot and move. And so these are the basis of how I make decisions. Who do I want to collaborate with? Usually I'll find if there's like a little catch or a little feeling of, man, I don't know what's up, but I don't think this is a yes, it's usually one of these three reasons. And it doesn't mean no, I won't work with them. It means I need to be bold and fearless to say, this is a value of mine, I won't budge. Is this something we can work with? And then if the answer is no, then there's the answer. Simple. But I don't have to do any of the mind games to talk myself into things and then find out later, oh, dang it. As I was looking through this, we're trying to put words to your true soul signature. Each of us is unique and brings something to the table in this world as a piece of the puzzle. So the sooner I think we get into the understanding who we are at the foundation of ourselves, the quicker we'll be able to put those puzzle pieces together. I think these are pretty cool times. Might be the fearless boldness part of me. Might be the naivete, who knows? But I'm endlessly optimistic about the human race. I think we have the ability to overcome some amazing experiences in life and really create the new forward-thinking ways of doing business. As businesses and entrepreneurs, we are building that new way forward. We're taking some of the good stuff and then creating new ways of talking about our people. I think finding and understanding the pain of the people you want to work with should be in balance with what your values are. The cool thing that I was thinking about when I thought about value is if you're living in those authentic foundational values, you get to feel who you are. And it's no mistake that the word is value, because as you feel and are reflected upon the impact you're making in the world and bringing that service to the world, you get to realize it is worth something. It is worth being paid, which just allows you to affect change on a greater level. You get to be supported. It brings up the worthiness that you do have something that is worth more than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And really, I think from talking to a lot of you is we're providing those increased possibilities for all the other people out there. And I think that's what's at our heart. So Amber was talking about heart-centered business. At the beat of our heart, we are creating an energetic field. And one of the amazing things of our mind is the ability to imagine. So if you are imagining your foundational values, you are creating the coherence within your field that is attracting the people to you. Science is finding out we are not we're actually monopoles. So instead of a positive and a negative, we actually are attractive creatures. So as we have the coherent, unique soul signature that you are creating and enhancing with your thoughts, you are pulling people in that you want to work with. You are pulling in experiences, and that takes zero effort. To sit and imagine how I create in this world authentically is 5 minutes, 10 minutes before I write my copy. To sit and understand how I can be more fearless in my own life is only moments. But I am putting that in my field so that when people come up to me, it is very easy for them to go, I don't know why I wanted to work with you, but I am here. And I would love $1 billion for every time I heard that. But that's what happens. And those are the people that sing to my heart. Those are the people I want to work with. And those are the people I want to create with as I move forward in the future. We talked about how you're creating coherency within your field, you're drawing in your clients. It's the best use of your time and your energy. And basically it's setting us free to have the resiliency to move forward in life. I think that's it.
I think I might have one more.
Oh no! Oh, good stuff. So this is my worldview. There's magic inside and unique only to you. And you owe it to yourself, the world, and to us to bring it out. What impact can you make as you look at life with a different perspective? And how will you be a steward of your light? It's so much easier when you know who you are and where you're going, what is a yes, what is a no, and have fun. I love this, and I got a little teary goosebumps when I watched the Prince's wedding, not because it was a wedding, but because of this. The next great evolution for humankind is when we learn to harness the power of love. And in the scope of human history, he was talking about fire was the first great jump for man, the invention of the wheel, the Industrial Revolution, and here we are today at the crux of learning how to harness the greatest gift that we were given, the beat of our heart.
Amen.
Thank you.